Hi everyone, it's Janie at the League-Kempner House here in Galveston. We have gone from brutal winter last week and 20-something degree weather and freezing our you-know-what's off to this week just having kind of glorious spring days. Yesterday was phenomenal and it was very busy here at the League-Kempner House. Let me show you some of the things that went on. When we left you last week, we were down in the chauffeur's quarters with Mateo. He was finishing up some wiring that he's doing down there. And he's such a great person to learn from. He's so knowledgeable. And he's also very conscientious about cost on the job. He's been collecting things from other job sites that were getting thrown away that we can reuse. And this is the latest pile of goodies he brought us. It's a bunch of boxes that we need to do commercial wiring with. And that we need for the upper part of the house. But it was a brutal day. Wow, look at the trees. Look at the trees going. That is. That's not good. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go up. I'm going to go lock up upstairs and then come back down the stairs so we can exit here. Because it's very hard to close that back door with the wind without a doorknob on it. Yeah. Before we left, he wanted to show me one more thing. And as I mentioned, electrical stuff is not my bailiwick. So I'm really thrilled to be learning some new information from Mateo. We have to start putting plugs in upstairs, and we're using a different kind of wire than I've used before. Come on.
This is Romex. This is residential. Allowed for residential areas.
Which the city is letting us do down here in the apartment, but then we're switching to
this, which is armored cable. But you can see that the wire is in there.
It's still the same.
Same wire inside here, but it still has an aluminum armored cable.
Okay. So what we want to do before we put the ceiling in is run from where the breaker box will be for the upstairs over here and put these plugs in the wall in the parlor.
Yeah, I think I found a good spot upstairs. You want to go
upstairs? Okay, yeah, let's go up. Basically, the apartment is right here. So we need plugs all on this side.
Since this extends a little bit, we can put a plug like right in the middle here.
Okay.
Like that. And then
go straight down.
Have our wire go down, and then we'll have we can easily put one right there.
Okay, I want to put one over here too. There's already one there.
Okay.
So I don't know if we can.
Well, we can at least
take that out and get a wire to it.
Yeah. Do you want to have them look like that, like all the receptacles in the baseboard?
Oh, that's a good question. You know what? I think I would, because this is more decorative. So sure. Yes.
We'll put it right there then. And then I'll take off this box.
And see if we can get one there.
And then see if I can drill down and get a wire. So
you may be able to see the old one from down there.
Yeah, that's possible. We'll go from there to here. Into there.
Into there.
And then this, that same thing over.
And we can just bring one up over here if we. What am I trying to say? When we finish out that wall, we could connect in the box there and bring another plug, couldn't we?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's like I would rather do it now if we wanted to put more plugs in here. I was just doing the minimum. You just need one every 12 feet.
Well, we don't want the minimum because we want to. Let's see. All right, I'll ponder on that. We definitely want, well, there's a window here, so we can't have one there. So we definitely want one centered on this wall.
Okay.
And we definitely want one on that wall and that wall. So there's really not any other place.
Well, this would be easier to do than the center of this wall.
Okay.
Just because of where the wall is downstairs, and it's hard. It's small, but since this is out indented out, like this would be easier right there.
Okay.
Unless we do it right over here.
Here's the woman in me. Then the furniture would sit over there, and then that would show, and then the plug would come out and show.
Well, you got another one
so we can
another little, like thing right there. We can put it right there. Instead.
Okay, we can always.
And it's
take that
possible.
baseboard off if
Okay.
necessary
Is
to get in there.
It's possible we could still pull it in there on this.
Okay, we'll look at that in
easier.
detail tomorrow. If need be, we'll take that baseboard off and make it easier for you to get to. And then this one is all going to be behind wainscoting and everything, so you can come up wherever and put. We'll probably put at least two, maybe one. Is it better between the windows?
Yeah.
So maybe one between each window there.
Yeah.
Okay, Ann and I are down here freezing in the basement, and I'm shouting because my microphone is out of the car and I am not going to get it. It is so cold and so windy, the wind chill. I think it was not minus 20 degrees this morning, but it's actually pretty okay in the basement because there's no draft. So this has been a long week, and one of those weeks where I'm not sure what I filmed because we were just busy in a good way, but a different way sometimes than doing construction. We gave a private tour on Tuesday to a potential donor. Actually, I should say an actual donor who's looking at upping his interest in the house, and we'll talk more about that later. It's something we're very excited about. And then we had another private tour for a nonprofit in Galveston, Vision Galveston, that's mission is to improve the lives of the people who actually live on the island, not the tourists. And we met them at Dickens on the Strand, and we're looking at some ways to partner with them and gain from their knowledge of the island and their experience with nonprofits here. And then Mateo, the electrician, was here. You saw him working earlier in the video. He's actually coming back tonight, so I went ahead and spent the night last night. Joe wasn't here. I didn't have to drive back and forth, so I could have an extra day to just work and try to catch up on some things. So Ann is here. Jean is coming in a little bit to help, but one thing I need to do is disassemble the electrical work that was done early on when I first started on the house, because we've reconfigured everything to go from single family residence to a commercial structure with 2 apartments. So from 1 meter we're going to 3, but we're reusing a lot of the stuff. So these panels are just going to move over into the mechanical room where you saw my husband build that wall. So it's just like everything screws together. Just got to get it all loose and get these boxes out. This is all dead. Nothing has been connected. The only thing live in the house is our temporary power, so we're not at risk there. But I need to get all this done and down and moved over so that Mateo doesn't have to bother and waste his time with that. So I'm going to get busy. Our regular viewers know that I hate having to redo something that's already been done. This is the most extreme case I've ever had. And for those of you who aren't our regular viewers, this house started out being a single family residence, and so all the electrical was designed a certain way. Now, as I said, as a commercial building with 2 apartments, all of that changes. The initial electrical work, I think, was around $22,000. It's not cheap, and a big component of that are all of the boxes, the copper wire, everything that goes into it. So we need to save and reuse everything we can so that we are not throwing money away. A lot of the labor cost, obviously, we can't recoup. This is the right thing to do, but the material aspect of it is significant. And Mateo is working with his boss, so what we can't use, hopefully they're going to give us credit for and buy back a lot of the copper wiring and some of the pieces that are no longer applicable to what we're doing. And as I said, we also want to save Mateo's time and let him be as efficient as he can be. This one had screws on it. This one has an Allen wrench. Now I have to go find an Allen wrench. Now, it turned out that these boxes were a little harder to get down than I thought. I don't know what the first electrician was doing, but there were, I think, 6 different kinds of screws holding this thing together. There were flat heads, hex heads, Phillips, there were Allen bolts. It was just a mess. So I'm back and forth getting the right tool to get it down. Everything just screws and clamps together, so it's not rocket science, but the wire is incredibly thick and stiff, and I did struggle greatly with it. I don't have the physical strength to bend it. So they had to get it in this conduit and then get it in the box and twist it into shape. It was really quite difficult. I don't know how they got it in there in the first place. It was a little bit too tight. I do remember them struggling with it quite a bit, but eventually I got most of it down. The hidden screw.
Are you still hammering?
I don't know.
It is.
We have gloves. Do you want gloves?
No, I'm good
Okay.
because I can't. I wouldn't be able to feel all the different wires in here if I had gloves. Mind you, it's freezing down here, so you know how like cold hands feel. So great, but look at all of these majestic.
This is what Mateo brought us last night, the goodies.
We are very grateful to Mateo for bringing
And
said.
cleaning up
things.
in the shadows. Cleaning them up.
Yes.
And
So
putting them, there's still the ground wire in there, but that can stay because that's.
yeah, the grounds I'm leaving on.
Wait a minute. Okay.
I'm so sorry. The grounds I'm leaving on, obviously, because we want to create as little work for the electricians as possible.
And we're saving all the copper.
All the copper, again, like what I said to Miss Joni earlier, I was like, I really give a lot of credit to anyone that goes about their day-to-day basis to steal copper wire.
Oh,
I don't recommend it.
no. You get pennies. It's not worth that much, but might as well be recycled.
It is, yes.
And
And we are, this is only from 3 boxes. So, and we have a whole, literally a necklace. of
We've
them.
we've gotten probably $4,000 from metal recycling so
Really?
far. Between all the stuff we've taken out and found in the yard and different things.
I believe it. And this is the tip of the iceberg because there's so much more
More to go.
in the other room. Well, here, I'll just be snipping copper wire. Y'all enjoy the video and
Poor Anne was absolutely freezing to death. Getting the wires out of the boxes was actually extremely difficult, and it makes me a little concerned. Well, I'm not concerned because I know Mateo can do it, but it's going to be a lot harder to run that aluminum wrapped wire throughout the house. It's not as easy to work with as just plain Romex is. So I'll be curious to see how that works and how he does that. But I went back to trying to salvage some more of this electrical service that came into the house, and I was not having a good time or an easy time. I actually worked up a sweat and had to start shedding my coat and my hat. I thought I was going to have to take my shirt off and just work in my undershirt. It was very physical. Eventually Anne had to come help me get this one piece of conduit off, and we did manage to get it off, but I just gave up after that. I did not think it was worth it to keep working on this, and we don't really need to reuse the conduit and the wire that's coming in here. This is stuff that will be salvaged and resold, so I just hung it up and went on to something else. Our volunteer Jean came and she helped Anne finish stripping all those electrical boxes. It was a lot of work, but it'll save us quite a bit of money. And then we headed upstairs to the 3rd floor to work on the blue bathroom. It's never been fully cleaned before. We've straightened it up a few times, but it's kind of one of those catch-all places to hold things. And the before clip doesn't quite show how messy it is up there, how much stuff was crammed in that cabinet or behind it. We made probably 15 trips up and down the stairs, each of us, to carry stuff to the basement and get this cleared out. And then we moved the radiator, which I wish I had that on video. It was quite something to see, but the 3 of us did manage to get it moved over
to the side and get this place swept out. So it's looking better than it ever has. It is a cold day down in the chauffeur's quarters, but we are very excited. We have our new volunteer, Paula. Say hi. Oh, there she goes. She's cleaning today, doing some deep clean. We did that sandblasting and made such a mess, but our electrician is coming to actually wire up the plugs in these boxes. So she has been meticulously going down with a brush and cleaning everything. We'll come back with damp rags and wipe everything out so that when he gets here, he can work, because look at this. This is an exciting mess. We cannot wait to get permanent power down here and get our inspection done so that we can start closing up these walls and seeing a real dramatic change down here. Ann and I tackled one more project, which was putting up some caution tape. The city asked us to mark this better. You can tell it's a bit of a hazard, something we need to address pretty soon. But then we were off to the following week, and you notice things have changed dramatically. We're all in shorts.
Before I get started, Kathy's back scraping. The never-ending scraping job. Yeah, it's looking really good. All right, sidetracked again with Sherry.
Hello, guys.
Our yard expert. We're going to go check out what she wants to do today. It's so pretty.
Here.
People are just showing up right and left.
You had said you want to put the vegetable garden over here.
No, I'm getting closer so I can hear you.
Oh, the herbs and the pepper plants.
Yeah, I think
Go
so,
here.
because look, they'll get nice sun, but then
Yeah.
they'll be partially shaded from the heat of the day.
So my question is, how low do you want this to be? Because you had said dug out.
Well, okay. That's maybe a long range thing. So whatever our floor is inside, we want to get this area here below so water doesn't flow in like a river inside.
Okay.
So this is close on this corner here, but if you look, it rises up as you go across.
Yes. Yes.
So,
And then if I make a small drain dent, it'll go right into anything else that.
yeah, the ground is so porous, it should drain through. I'm not worried about it draining. I'm just worried about, that I've got to get this lower. So this probably should kind of be the same height all the way around, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I think we need to pressure wash and paint this. So I'd like to be down about 6 inches so we can pressure wash and paint.
It's so much fun to have so many great volunteers. Everybody's kind of gotten into a routine. They know we're here on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And when the weather's pretty, people just show up and start working. Sherry loves to work outside. Kathy loves to scrape paint. And Kelly's in and out doing all sorts of odd jobs. But I started tackling that drainage system. And unfortunately, our temporary catch basin that Ricardo built is right in the way and needed to come out. And of course, he built it like it was the foundation of a nuclear plant. It was something else to get out of there. But it was a beautiful day to be working outside. And then we had a nice visitor. We have this great hawk that lives on the property, and he's always hunting something. Today he got a little mouse in the yard. He caught it first, and then he sat on it quite a while before he decided to fly off with it. I don't know if it was squirming too much or he was leery of us watching him, but he loves to perch on the greenhouse and keep an eye on the yard for us. Meanwhile, in the house, we'd been having a very busy tour day, and Pat and Joe had been handling that. After tours were over, they had a meeting scheduled with Jennifer Edenfeld, who is head of the Ball High School CTE program that we've been partnering with. Then all of a sudden I hear beeping outside and run out and look, and they're delivering that big lift. And this is incredibly exciting news for us because it means the roofers are finally back to finish off the work that needs to be done. There's a few little touch-up things we found, and then they have to put on the remaining 3 chimney caps. But it always makes me nervous when this thing comes through the gate. It's a tight fit.
In addition to all the tours and the volunteers and the goings on, I spent a lot of time over here on our drainage project. And I keep saying we're going to wrap it up and move on and get this behind us, but the weather was not conducive to that. But this week is. So since we were delayed in being able to do this, I had a lot of time to think about it. And sometimes when I'm left alone to think, it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I think it was good in this case because I caught some problems with the design that we had. Let me take you up close and show you what I think is wrong with the way we were doing it originally. So I had talked about before that we needed to, bring water directly from the gutter all the way out to the pond. And we were digging this trench wide enough to get 2 more rows of PVC pipe in here. And these outer 2 furthest away from the house, we're going to go all the way back and connect to a catch basin at the gutter. I thought about that and I changed my mind on that. Let me bring you in a little closer and talk about that. So just as a refresher, we have this old temporary, very shallow catch basin where we had our very first pipe going. And then we were going to lay 2 more beside it. We were going to knock this out and get rid of it so our pipe can come close by and head on over, really kind of on that trajectory of the 2x4 laid on the ground all the way over to the gutter. And the thought being that those 2 pipes would be connected to the gutter, and this original one would still be open to put another permanent catch basin here so that when we grade this area and this area and some of this area, that we have a place for water to flow on the surface, come into the new catch basin and out that pipe. Now, what occurred to me is that if we have these 2 pipes on the outside of that one, and they are very close to the surface because of the slope, there's no room to actually make a catch basin and get water over to this pipe that will now be in the back. So what we're going to do is take out this original catch basin, use this pipe as the first one to connect back all the way to the gutter, put a second pipe connected back all the way to the gutter, and have our third pipe come to a new catch basin outside of those 2 so that we can get the slope and actually have water come to the catch basin. So now we have a new plan and I'm happy with that. But today I have our volunteer Ann coming, who's young and strong, and she's a ditch digging wizard. So we're going to redo a little of this. We're changing the path of where our pipe is going, and the goal is to get all this laid out and done by the end of next week. We want to be able to cover all this over, make it safe for people to walk again, and we just need this behind us. So let me take a little break and tell you something exciting that's going on. Many of you have asked us about doing Patreon as a way that you can support us more in our efforts here. And we've always been a little hesitant to do that because it requires a lot of work and extra videos. And we're already kind of max capacity, as you know, if you've been following us. But YouTube does offer a membership. And we looked at that and we were intrigued. And we think it fits well with what we're trying to do. So we have actually added 2 YouTube membership levels. The first is only 99 cents a month. It gets you a discount in our store. It gets you an extra kind of midweek video every week. And that could be a lot of different things. It could be the director's cut. It could be a longer version of the weekly video. It could be the outtakes. It could be a more contemporaneous look at a project going on. But we think that's something we can accommodate and not take away from our normal subscribers. We don't want to detract from anything we're already doing and putting out there for free. We appreciate your loyalty and being here, and we want to make sure you get the same content you've been getting. We've also added the $1.99 level, which is the discount the extra video, but also a live stream on Saturdays. We're going to try to do that most Saturdays because we're here and the house is open. So that way it's a smaller audience. You can ask questions. You can direct to some. We'll actually be putting other community posts up and doing polls and getting more input from you in the house. So we think it's a way that you can interact with us more. So that's the $1.99 level, and all that money goes straight into the restoration of the house. So go check it out and become a member, and we'll see you in those extra videos. Okay, Ann is not coming until 11. Kelly's already been here and picked up a bunch of recycling. We had amassed a lot of it to take it to the recycling center. I'm going to go ahead and start preparing this trench. Our goal is to get all 3 pipes laid here, stub them out over here, get this covered up, and then continue on with the next phase. And hopefully with Ann here, we can get that done because this trench is already dug. I just have to make one little modification. Let me show you. So I hope you can see it, but the pipe, as it hits this joint right here, has a pretty dramatic rise up to here. And we need to dig out under that pipe and drop it a little bit lower, maybe about an inch and a half lower here, because we need it to be lower to get the slope we need as we traverse over to the gutter over there. So that's an easy fix. And then we'll get our other 3 pipes laid in the trench, the angles on them, and get them stubbed out and headed that way. Okay, I'm a little bummed. I have lost my favorite yard tool. Well, I don't know, maybe second favorite yard tool. It's a hoe that has a pointy end, and it would be perfect for reaching under this pipe and scraping away some of that dirt. So I do have a regular hoe. Let's see if that will work. Okay, that other one would have been perfect. I just want to undercut this and drop it down back to this joint a little bit. And it has rained and a little bit of dirt has washed back in here, but not very much, surprisingly. A lot of dirt in our pipes. We'll have to clean that up. Probably need to get rid of this plywood for today, since we won't have visitors on property. It'll just be us. Out of the way. That was a lot of digging, but Ann showed up and saved the day. Like I said, she's young and strong,
and really a great worker. So she kind of did the finishing work, looking at getting it level. We want to lay the pipe directly on the ground. And I don't know if you remember when David was here, the plumber, one thing with pipe is to be careful not to over dig, because you don't want the dirt below to compress and have the pipe bottom out, which is really just what happens when the pipe bows down and gets a place where the water doesn't flow anymore. So we tried to use that existing pipe as a guide and only dig down as deep as we had to. You'll see later on we were not so careful at the other end, and we caused a lot of problems. But this one, she's very precise, and as I said, did a great job. Found an old cast iron pipe. So she's got her safety glasses on. She's going to take a whack at it.
We're going to try to figure out exactly where to take a whack at first. Yay!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as I said, if you dig the dirt away from it where you can, because the sand will, but well, or not. Or you could just do that. It's pretty brittle stuff, and it'll be sharp, so be careful.
All right. Do you think? No, we
Yeah,
have to go.
go the other way. Get on the other side. It's part of the old plumbing.
Oh dear Lord, I can't see with these glasses.
And some of the oldest stuff was clay, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to get it all out so it doesn't cut the PVC.
I think we're good.
We heard beeping again, and the sheet metal guys had shown up with the chimney caps and were heading up to put them on.
Okay, we've been digging all day and hit a bit of a roadblock. So Kelly has gone back to work. Ian has gone home. I am sitting waiting on the sheet metal guys to go to Home Depot and get something they need to put the last roof cap on. And I'm calling Uncle. I've just got off the phone with my husband and asked him if he would please come tomorrow and help us get the rest of this pipe put in. It's one of those strength things. I just don't have the physical strength in my hands to hold that 4-inch pipe and get it pushed in those couplings the way it needs to be when you glue it together. So I'm a little afraid to undertake that myself. We have everything dug out. It's ready to go. It just needs to be glued up and do the final leveling. So he is rearranging his schedule. He was going to make a dump run on his project tomorrow, but he's going to reschedule that for Monday and come down with me tomorrow so we can just get this done and get it over with. But I did remember that I have a project up in our storage room. Actually, it's the servant's bedroom on the second floor. Y'all have been in there a few times. It's where we keep all our goodies under lock and key. And I brought 2 or 3 weeks ago a new thing of silicone putty, because on the cornices I'm missing some pieces that I don't have, and I'm going to try to take a mold off the curved cornices that are up in the storeroom up there. And I've been wanting to do it, and I just couldn't do it because it was below freezing in the house, and I just wasn't sure how this would perform. It did not have any temperature guidelines on it, so I thought I might as well wait for a pretty day and let the weather warm up. But I'm going to go out there and I'll pick the camera up and show you guys, and I'm going to get the molding.
So just disregard everything I said. The video is already too long and I don't have time to show you the curved cornices upstairs. We'll pick up there next week. As always, thanks for watching and being so supportive. Go check out our memberships if that's something that interests you. And we look forward to seeing you back here next week at the League-Kempner House in Galveston, Texas.